Hello and welcome to the Florida Botanical Gardens. My name is Emily Bloxam. I'm the Communications Coordinator for the Florida Botanical Gardens Foundation. The Florida Botanical Gardens is a 100-acre park owned and operated by Pinellas County. Day-to-day management and operations fall to the Pinellas County Parks and Conservation Resources Department, while education, fundraising, and events in the garden are done through the Florida Botanical Gardens Foundation. The foundation was formed in 2003 and is managed by an all-volunteer board of directors who strive to make the gardens a place for everyone to enjoy. The foundation raises funds to support the gardens through memberships, donations, events, sponsorships, memorials, and the Botanical Bounty gift shop. All proceeds raised go directly back to the garden to fulfill our mission to create, sustain, and grow a world-class botanical garden. The latest project the Florida Botanical Gardens Foundation is undertaking is a brand new children's garden on site. It'll be a 2+ acre garden in addition to the existing landscape. Just to the right of me is the location for the brand new outdoor classroom. It'll be a space for kids to have educational classes, programming, an outdoor potting area, all kinds of fun activities, as well as, a rental space for children's birthday parties, events. On the left-hand side will be the pollinator landing, an outdoor play area and stage, which leads to the bamboo bridge, right through this stand of bamboo. And then the music forest, where there'll be musical instruments, large ones for kids to play on and have a lot of fun with. We are currently fundraising for this project, so all proceeds and donations go towards the children's garden. We're really close to our goal, so we're excited to break ground soon and get that project underway.
Every day, people come to the gardens and to enjoy the beauty and to understand the respite that the gardens give. And many people do that over and over and over again, and some of them, it becomes a very special place for them. So when that becomes a special place, one of the things that happens is that their loved ones recognize that and they want to create something special here for them. And so out of that came our concept of our memorial and dedication program here at the garden. So what we've done over the years from the very beginning was to create ways for that to happen. So it could be something fun, like we have pavers that you can do and put your favorite saying, your favorite expression, a date, something along those lines. Or it could be something a little bit more formal. So maybe you want to put that dedication on a plaque on a bench. Or if it's really something super special, you might want to do something like what we've done here, which is to dedicate a tree in tribute to an individual. The other part of it is that we also have great opportunities if you want to give at a higher level, that there might even be opportunities for you to name a structure or to name a building in honor of or in memory of or in tribute to someone that's very special. And so we want to make sure that you understand that we are here for that special opportunity, and we can do that simply start on our website if you want to do something as simple as a paper. But then if you want to do something a little bit more, then you should just contact our office and we'll be more than happy to walk around with you, talk about what that means, and then figure out what tribute or honor you can give to your loved one.
The Florida Botanical Gardens is open to the public 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily, free admission, and leashed pets welcome. We invite you to come out and enjoy our beautiful botanical oasis in the heart of Pinellas County. Thank you for joining us this evening, and we hope you enjoy the rest of our program.
Welcome.
Oh, I don't think so. Ugh. How would I?
Well, we'll proceed without any video as we have some technical difficulties here. Welcome, everyone. This is the voice of John Thomas, the president of the foundation, and here to welcome all you. Thank you for joining our meeting this evening. Meeting is not just to provide a summary of this year's accomplishments and an outline of future plans, but most importantly, to thank all of our supporters and volunteers for their help to advance our mission to create an environment at the Florida Botanical Gardens for the community to come together for education, inspiration, and enjoyment. The beauty of the gardens is really a function of the work of our county park system and the rangers who did extra duty during the pandemic when volunteers were not allowed to participate in a lot of the weekly maintenance and ongoing projects, planting flowers, mulching, weeding, all the things that goes on at the garden. So a giant thank you to our park rangers and the staff led by Kathy Burrell, the chief ranger. Financial support for the gardens and specifically the Children's Discovery Garden has been phenomenal. We have received commitments for 2 gifts exceeding $500,000 each. One that involves naming rights for this Discovery Garden. We're expecting approval of that naming rights agreement from the county commissioners in April. Contributions from our board, our membership, the Pinellas Community Foundation, and visitors have made this project shovel ready. To all that have contributed, a big thank you. What have we accomplished this past year in spite of having to change the way we've done business and operated? We had a very successful private and garden tour. We had Pumpkin Fest, an annual event that we've been running with several hundred participants taking home a pumpkin to carve at home rather than join us with other families to undertake that work here at the gardens. We've had yoga in the gardens that has been a weekend favorite for many. Our board members and some volunteers have decorated the gardens. With floral arrangements and other entertaining displays during the holidays for enjoyment by our daytime visitors, as we are not able to hold holiday lights this year. Project Wild is events that were family education based and for their enjoyment. And We had some larger events before the pandemic hit, and some much smaller family-oriented events during the pandemic, following the proper protocols. We've provided about $60,000 of financial support to the Parks Department for the purchase of plant material and a variety of garden projects that have been implemented over the past year. We are in the process of going through the permit process for the Children's Discovery Garden. The plans have been finalized. Some amendments will be made through the regulatory agency reviews. And we're hoping that that will allow us to commence construction in the next month or so once those final permits are issued. We have an ambitious agenda to accomplish a lot more in the year ahead. We're looking to hire a full-time educator for this Discover Garden, someone who can be on site to engage visitors and plan and run programs for families, young and old alike. We're looking to also convert the Tropical Pavilion building to our foundation office and gift shop. As many who visit the gardens these days know, the office building where a gift shop is located has been closed, and we're really excited about this opportunity, partnering with the Pinellas County Parks and Conservation Resources Department to construct our facilities at this location, central in the garden, which will allow us to provide more services to our visitors and engage the public in general. We're looking to complete a strategic plan to guide our work for the next 3 years, and potentially as long as 5 years, depending on how the progress on the plan ensues. We're looking forward to holding holiday lights again this year. We had so many comments from the public who missed the event this year, but everyone seemed to understand the situation and the complexities of running an event of the nature that we have during the kinds of health and safety conditions that we had to live with. But we are working in earnest to move forward with the holiday light event to generate the funds for other programs and our general operating expenses for the foundation. We have been working to upgrade and renovate our children's trail and the exhibits along with that. And I think visitors will see that in the upcoming months, later this spring and certainly this summer. We certainly are looking forward to building our children's trail project in conjunction with the construction of the Discovery Garden. As always, we've had an ambitious agenda, and with our leadership of the board, excellent staff of Emily Bloxham and Vernon Bryant, and our fantastic volunteer network, we are excited about what we will be able to accomplish this year and in the years ahead. I thank everyone for joining this annual meeting and for your interest in our work to capitalize on the opportunities that we are afforded by this beautiful garden oasis in the Pinellas County Park System. Thank you, and hope to see you all around the gardens in the months ahead.
Good evening, everyone. This is Dan Beaver. I am the foundation treasurer, and I'm here to speak about our financial numbers. I'm not sure whether Emily is going to be able to bring up the slide or not that shows that. Are you, Emily? While we're waiting, these financials are for our last fiscal year, which ran from October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2020. And as you can see, our income was just short of 940,000. And of course, because this is included Christmas of 2019, we do have holiday lights in here. Also, the very large donation for the children's garden that John mentioned. One of them was actually received in this fiscal year of $500,000. And that donor still wishes to remain anonymous, is my understanding. The second large donation will be paid out as construction commences. So that will probably mostly hit in this current fiscal year. Most of the other income items are pretty standard as far as most years are concerned. Gift shop was impacted for probably half of last fiscal year due to the shutdown of the building. And so it was only turned out to be about half what we would normally have expected. The expenses, the largest item on there, the payroll and fringes, that's for the staff. We had 3 staff members. Holiday lights expenses, those are direct expenses of putting on holiday lights. The other large item, the contract services, mostly represents expenses in the children's garden design and engineering aspect, getting up to the construction point. The other expenses are pretty much in line with past years. Because of that large $500,000 donation, we did have a increase of almost $445,000. So we ended the fiscal year a very strong position of over $1.4 million in assets. So we are well positioned to fund the 2 major projects that we will be doing this fiscal year: the children's garden and the redoing the building that John mentioned for our offices and the gift shop. Any questions can be asked during the question and answer time.
Hello. Hello, my name is Emma Eschbaugh, and I am a county volunteer. I have been since 2008. I retired and just needed something to get me out of the house and into the open air, and I was introduced to the garden, and I just loved it. So I became a county volunteer working here at the Florida Botanical Gardens. I come once or twice a week depending on the need. We work in groups, have a great time. I have made so many friends over the years. It's been a long time, but it just seems like I started yesterday. So if any of you out there would really like to get out of the house for a while, come to the open air, enjoy the garden, and help us out, it would be greatly appreciated. All you have to do is go on the Pinellas County website and go to volunteers, and it'll lead you the rest of the way. We trim, we maintain, we plant. We even help design some of the things that go in here, so it's different every week. So it's not the boring same thing week after week. And we'd love to have all of you join us if you would. The other way of volunteering, after about a year of being a volunteer, I was invited to join the Florida Botanical Gardens Foundation, which I did, and I have been on that for 12, 13 years now, and enjoy that. Our main function is to raise funds for the Botanical Garden, but we get into so many other adventures. We put on the holiday lights, we put on many events throughout the year, and we need help. If you're interested, please just email the Florida Botanical Gardens Foundation. We had many, many committees ranging from financial, nomination, membership, development, so many different committees. So there's a lot of expertise that would be helpful. And I know if you just try it, you'll like it.
In 2018, the foundation decided to reinstate the recognition of one or more volunteers who donate their time to bettering the Florida Botanical Gardens and the work the foundation does to support it. If we could, we would highlight every person who contributes to our organization, but for now we've selected 2 volunteers who represent the epitome of what it means to volunteer. This year's volunteers have been prolific, producing several educational brochures and updating signage within the gardens. Graduates of the Master Gardener program, Margaret Gates and Pam Schrader, have been a key part of the Foundation's Education Committee and can often be seen walking through the gardens with a clipboard and pen in hand. We're here with our Volunteers of the Year, Pam Schrader and Margaret Gates. Why don't you guys start by telling me a little bit about your connection to the gardens? Do you remember your first visit?
I do. I actually live about 2 miles from the gardens, and so from about 2001 on, I've been walking in the gardens. So my first visit, I was like, wow, this place is just around the corner. So that was my first visit.
What about you, Pam?
My first visit was for the holiday lights, which is done a beautiful Christmas holiday display every December and November through December. And so that was my first visit, but then I decided I needed to come here during the day and started coming here during the day probably around 2001, because that's when I moved to Largo.
Awesome. And so when did you guys complete your Master Gardener training?
We started our class in 2017, and then it takes a year to complete because you have a project that you have to work on. So we completed it, we were in the same class, and we completed it in 2018.
Awesome. And so what was your project for that?
We did an inventory of the palm garden and made a brochure that there's boxes in the palm garden with the brochures, so the visitors can pick up a brochure and look at the palms, and there's some descriptions of each one. So that was our first project with one other Master Gardener volunteer, Holly Ross. So the 3 of us. That was our Master Gardener volunteer project.
Wonderful. And so was that a big garden that was a lot of inventory to undertake, huh?
It was. It was.
Awesome. Well, thank you for doing that. And so then your next project was the Florida Friendly Landscaping, correct?
Correct. Yes, we graduated from the Palm Garden to Florida Friendly Landscaping, and we'd learned about that in the Master Gardener class. We were impressed with the amount of resources that were available, and also we kind of thought that the gardens would be a great place for people who are new to the area to learn about how to take care of their own gardens. So that was kind of the the impetus for the Florida Friendly.
As a native, were you familiar with some of the Florida-friendly plants, or did you find you still learned a lot?
I was probably familiar with natives without realizing it, because as a child, my parents always took us camping and all kinds of outdoor adventures, including to the coastal islands and so forth. So I always enjoyed it, but not until I took the Master Gardener course did I really learn about natives and the importance of natives in our landscapes.
So now anyone who visits can go and see, oh, this is Florida friendly. I can plant this at my home and my landscape.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
We do have to qualify that. You do have to put the right plant in the right place. That's the first principle of Florida Friendly landscaping. But if it's tagged Florida Friendly, you can definitely, do the research as to where to put it. It's in the official University of Florida database as being Florida Friendly.
Well, thank you so much, Margaret and Pam, for your dedication to the gardens and your volunteerism. It means so much to us to have volunteers like you educating the community and working with the foundation.
So here we are on the banks of McKay Creek, and opposite is the aquatic demonstration area, which is the area of our project, the signage project, around the aquatic demonstration area. So just for orientation, McKay Creek is part of the McKay Creek watershed. It connects Walsingham Lake and Taylor Lake, and then ends up going into the Intercoastal Waterway. And the storm pond opposite is a treatment center really for McKay Creek. It catches stormwater runoff and rainwater, cleans it, processes it, and then it flows back into McKay Creek. So all kinds of native plants around here and good water processing plant.
So this project was Margaret's project for her water stewardship program, which is a program put on by Extension, by Pinellas County Extension. I went through the program in 2019, and Margaret went through it this past year online. And so she had to do a project. This became her project, and she recruited me as her assistant. So we've been walking around this area quite a bit and recreating the signs that were 18 years old, and going to replace those through the grant from Tampa Bay Water.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for being part of our annual meeting here tonight. Emily and I decided that we wanted to actually be in the garden to do this as opposed to sitting at home. So that's part of a little bit of why we had some technological issues. But we are just really happy to be here. John gave such a tremendous overview of everything that's gone on over the last really 2 years. And as you know, this annual meeting is really about the fiscal year that ended in October. And, that fiscal year included us, setting our sights on our 20th anniversary. And as that happened, we got derailed because of the pandemic. It started off really great because we had at the end of our 2019 Holiday Lights, we had a great kickoff for that event. And we were able to actually have a few small events after that. But then, of course, the pandemic, and then things shut down and things changed, and we just had lots of challenges. But in spite of all of that, the thing that impressed me is that we didn't, as a foundation, miss a beat. So even though a lot of us were not physically at the garden, we were getting stuff done. And part of that is because we have, first and foremost, great staff. So I, again, like John said, give kudos to Emily, who has been our communications coordinator extraordinaire and has done phenomenal things throughout this year, making sure that we were still well publicized and people knew about the garden, and anything that we put our hands to do, she helped make sure that happened. I also want to mention Stacy Ziti, who was our gift shop manager.
Stacy has gone on to do other things that she wanted to do in life. So we've been without a gift shop manager, but as Dan also alluded, the gift shop had been closed throughout most of the year. And we did do a little fun thing. You know, we did pop-ups in the garden and tried to sell some materials at different times. And so we were able to generate a small amount of revenue based on those kind of pop-ups and those kind of things. And but also the other side of that was, man, we have such a tremendous cadre of volunteers. And again, those volunteers have helped us to do phenomenal things. And it starts first and foremost with the board. You know, so with John and Dan and Vivian, and in that previous fiscal year, Emma as the executive board, they really helped to make things happen. But of course, you know, our whole board is such a phenomenal group of folks that are so dedicated to everything that we're doing here at the Botanical Gardens. So I want to thank all of them, the board, and especially John, and you know, for his leadership through this kind of very difficult and interesting time. But we also had, of course, you know, the Parks Department, and you know, with Paul Kazi at the head, and then with our contact Spencer, and of course, as John mentioned, all of the Rangers and all the folks that are part of that. They've been a phenomenal help keeping the garden going, even when volunteers couldn't be here. And then also the other thing I want to mention is that there are other folks in Pinellas County government that have been phenomenal in helping us as well. And that includes real estate management and the risk department, as well as the county attorney's department, who have been instrumental in helping us do things throughout the year. And I would be remiss if I didn't also give kudos to the county board of the board of county commissioners, and especially our favorite two county commissioners, Commissioner Karen Seal and Commissioner Pat Gerard, who are our strong advocates. And so, you know, even through the midst of all of this, they've been there supporting the garden, encouraging the garden, making sure that we got things that we needed. So we want to also, you know, again, give them kudos. And another part of what happened this year is that we got some interesting things done because of collaborations. And so I want to call out a couple of different folks that have helped, different groups that have helped us collaboratively. If you remember way back at the beginning, we had this art exhibit that we were doing. And so Creative Pinellas was instrumental in that. And so we had Mr. Gialinella and his celestial fish, his orb, and his horse were with the guard in the garden for a good part of the year. And the celestial fish is still kind of with us, and we'll see how that works as we think about art in the garden as part of our strategic plan. We also had a great partner in Heritage Village. And again, they've been phenomenal in helping us and being there with us through all of this trial and test. Another really, really, really great volunteer group has been the Florida West Coast Orchid Society. And they have been instrumental in so many of the small events that we have done over the year. And starting with our gift and plant sale, as well as, you know, just orchid, you name it, orchid. And they've been with us doing those kind of things. So we want to give hats off to them. And then a couple other groups that have been instrumental with us include the Florida Nurserymen and Nursery Grower and Landscape Association, a mouthful, FNGLA, and also the Pinellas Farm Bureau. Those folks have been, again, with us doing small things. Whenever we call on them, they're there to help us. And we've been planning, and they're going to be with us to do great things going forward. So all of those collaborators are important, and we're going to build on that, looking to do all kinds of additional collaborations with whoever wants to work with us in the garden. So we're just happy. So, you know, the as John said, you know, this year, the current year that we in, kind of still started off with the pandemic kind of still in control. And that did cause us to have to cancel our holiday lights for this year. But it's my goal, it is my dream that we will make up for that in the coming year, and that we'll do all kinds of great events and activities. And again, having the Children's Discovery Garden imminently about to start is going to give us a great impetus to do great things. So I am just again excited about the opportunities that we have. I am again glad that we went through what we did with the pandemic and slowing down, because it really did give us an opportunity to do some other things behind the scenes, including looking at software and some other things that we needed to get done, revisiting some of our some of our policies and procedures, and just responding and getting to know each other a little bit better. So as I said, we have great things planned for this year. Hopefully you all will stick with us, because that's the last thing I would say is that without our members, um, we would not be where we are. You guys have been phenomenal through all of this. You have stuck with us. You've helped us to gain new members, even in the middle of a pandemic. And you have thought that the gardens were worth, and the foundation was worth renewing your membership and being involved with us. So we are excited. We are looking forward to great things happening this year. And again, thank you for attending this virtual annual meeting. I want to give kudos to Emily, who worked so hard to get the video part of that done, and hopefully you enjoyed that. We're going to post all of this on our website, so those who didn't get the chance to be part of tonight will be able to get a chance to see it. And so to close this out, I want to offer a chance for folks who have questions to do that. And you can do that by simply typing them into the question and answer box. And between myself and John and Emily, we will try and answer those questions for you.
Vernon, you're muted.
Yeah, so hopefully you will be there with us. I do see a question just popped up. Okay, so Sandy Walters said, I'm in the area part-time, but want to become involved. What should I do? Um, the great thing, Sandy, is that we have things that go on all year. So being a member will get you in the communication loop. Emily does a great job of sending out requests for volunteers throughout the time. But if there's a time of the year that you're going to be here that you know you want to do something, why don't you send us a message and just say, hey, I want to do this at this point in time, and we'll make sure we get you connected into what we're doing, um, regardless of when you are here. Other questions or comments, even if you have a comment that you want to make. Okay. So again, thank you guys for showing up tonight. We appreciate you making the effort to be a part of this annual meeting. And again, tell somebody about the garden, because every single day we hear people say, I didn't know this was here. And sometimes they are like literally say, I live around the corner. So the more we can tell folks about the garden, and the more that we can tout the garden, and the more we can add to the garden and enhance the garden, the better it will be. So Thank you guys, and